Hello and welcome. My name is Nitya and this is Ganesha. Always a pleasure to be around Ganesha, which is the great for communication and sharing ideas. So first of all, I'm not your guide, I'm not your guru, I'm not your teacher. I'm here to help you help yourself back to well-being. So take what resonates and discard the rest, okay? So what I'm talking about in this wee snippet today is about pain and why we still need pain. Why do we have pain? Why is there still pain, trauma, heartache, difficult things, difficult situations, difficult people, hatred, anger, division? Why is this all going on if we are moving into a fifth dimensional vibrational life? So it doesn't seem fair, does it? It doesn't seem kind, it doesn't seem nice. Why is it still going on? And the reason is, from my own experiences, from the healing work that I do with clients, and from tuning in for other people in the psychic realms, is that many people are still requiring pain as a catalyst for positive change. Basically, we've asked for it to help us move forward. Now, that may seem quite hard, unfair, and painful to listen to, but that's just where we are in the consciousness, and that's just where we are in the divine plan. So what we might find is when we have a loss, a heartbreak, a bankruptcy, or lose our money, lose our health, lose our sanity, lose our home, whatever it is, something that creates a cataclysmic change. Basically, it cracks us open. We can look back at it in hindsight and say something like, well, in hindsight, it's made me prioritise my health, or in hindsight, if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have met this, or I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have travelled the world, I wouldn't have got my finances in order, or whatever it may be. So we are still in a vibration and a consciousness and a dimension where pain is being used to create positive change. So we still look outside ourselves for answers. And what we are doing there is we're using our mind and logical rationale to explain things away. And what we should actually be doing is, and what the future is about 5D living in our heart, which I've mentioned every single time almost. And when we're in our heart, our radar works, it keeps us on track. So we know that if we do something silly, we could get hurt. We know that if we eat 50 pies, it's not going to be good for our health. We know that if we hurt someone, we could get hurt, or it's not a nice thing to do to someone else. So our heart steers us, and so we don't fall off balance so much. We're doing kind and loving things to ourselves and to others. There is less pain. And when pain does arrive, or heartache arrives, we are able at a higher vibration, a greater consciousness to say, okay, what is my part in this? Why did I create this? How can I heal this? And how can I make sure this doesn't happen again? So we don't pass it on. But that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is this pain catalyst is in the lower vibrations, in the third dimension, and it comes from the mind because we have a certain vision about how the world is supposed to be. We have a certain view about how much money we should earn, or how our life should look at a certain age, or the house that we should be in, or the relationships that we had, or the car that we should drive. And when we don't have these perceptions, these met, pain sets in. Or we don't actually take responsibility for ourselves, that if you eat 10 pies, you're going to be ill. If you are rude to someone, there could be consequences. If you don't be kind to your neighbour, then there could be consequences, that kind of thing. So we're still looking out to make the world fit our model. And rather than realising that if we want the world to fit a model, we have to become that model from the inside out. So what happens is, to create that reality, we go through pain. The perception is that we lose something. We lose something often that we've been holding on too tight for. So if we, for example, if we chase money really hard, we could lose our health. If we chase a relationship really hard, we could lose our job. If we chase perfection, we may lose our relationships. We may be so hell-bent on going to the gym all the time, or a certain addictive behaviour, that we can actually lose our relationships and lose our perspective. There's lots of different variations. There's tons of examples out there. So if we chase a job, career, lifestyle, opportunities, we as women, we could miss out on having children, or we could, the biological clock, or we could lose our health, or we could move to the other side of the world away from our family. Who knows? The point is, in pursuit of one thing that we perceive to be healthy, there is pain. And pain can actually be the catalyst. So if we do get too off balance in our mind's eye of what life should be like, the universe puts us back on track into our heart. So it's a journey from the mind into the heart. We all like to think we're in our heart. We all like to think we're kind people. But sometimes we need a bigger kick up the bum to really move into the heart energy and to treat everyone as equals, even if they're not treating us as equals. So there's a lot of hurt and harm, and there's a lot of hurt being passed on. So hurt people hurt people. Getting back to the point of this video, pain is still a catalyst because it creates change. It creates positive change. If people don't move into the positive change, they create more pain, real pain for themselves, until they really start to look at their behaviour or their actions or the consequences of their actions. And the pain catalyst might not come directly at us. So we may witness our family going through things that creates change. We may witness other people going through things. We may have a flood. We may have a natural disaster that creates change, to act as a catalyst for heart-based unity consciousness living. So we're all in this together. So this has been going on for a long time, and it is actually supported by the universe in its own way. Sometimes it's called karma. Sometimes it's called divine intervention. And as much as we have the opportunity to be in 5D at this point and in unity consciousness, there are still people at different places on this journey that are still requiring pain as a catalyst. And I truly believe that all of us do. We're still processing. We're still on the journey. So the more that we can learn from these experiences, and the more that we can go, oh, I've been here before, or rather in your heart say, I've been here before. I don't need to have this experience to grow. Or as I say to people, learn from other people's experiences rather than having to experience it yourself. And that speeds up your evolution as well, because you're functioning from a much higher consciousness rather than actually just having to have a physical experience in your physical life that you see. Your universal knowing will tell you right and wrong if you listen, if you have the tools to listen, and if you have got rid of as much of the gunk as you possibly can. So sadly, unfortunately, we still have pain as a catalyst for many. Sometimes other people will go through pain to help others, and this is a soul contract, this is a soul journey. If anything, that it takes us up into a higher vibration and a better planet, then so be it. It's not for me to judge. It's not for us, any of us, to judge. It's just for us to acknowledge the grand scheme that this is where we're going. So the quicker we get through the pain catalyst and realise in our heart just to be good people and do the right thing and transmute our negativity and our triggers and our toxins, then we don't need these pain catalysts anymore. So I hope that helped. Touched on a big subject in a little way, and have a lovely day. Bye bye.